Now that the next step that we are going to understand at the transmitter and the receiver, how do you convert or how do you translate these low pass signal into band pass and band pass into low pass? For that, you need to have a mathematical relation between constructing band pass signal from low pass and vice versa. Okay, so we'll do the first part. We'll take the receiver part first. Say if you have a band pass signal received at the receiver, how do you express in band pass signal in terms of its low pass equivalent? And hence we call this as low pass equivalent of band pass signal. We'll do the other way around as well. Okay, the first part, let us take this would be easier method to approach rather than the other way around. You'll see why. Okay, so this will take a little time, probably 2 sessions of time to have a relation between low pass and band pass signals, not their mathematical relation but also the relation with respect to their energies. That's what I had listed down in session 2 probably, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so we had already defined it, and we are going to convert this low pass into band pass and vice versa, and we'll also represent these band pass in terms of its equivalent low pass and the vice versa relation. And finally we are going to relate with respect to their energies, the frequency spectrum, and a parameter known as cross correlation coefficient as well, between low pass and band pass signal. Okay, that is our objective as the sessions are progressing. All right, so with the first objective in our hand, so we need to express band pass signal in terms of its low pass equivalent. Okay, so there are new terminologies which will be throwing up to you. I'll just step by step I'll try to decode it for you, and we'll make it little simpler. Okay, so there is a word called as pre-envelope. You will understand why it is called as envelope and pre-envelope. In most of the cases it is complex envelope, okay, of a signal. We just take this as just a phrase, and I'll give the meaning of this pre-envelope probably at the end of today's session itself, if possible. Otherwise I'll carry that definition to the next session. But we call the pre-envelope of any signal, say x of t, okay, where we take this x of t to be a band pass signal. Somewhere else I have to write this, because we are taking band pass signal to, with us now. So pre-envelope of a band pass signal, in general I can write any signal, but since I'm being specific that we have information of band pass signal, is x plus of t, okay, where the Fourier transform of this x plus of t, okay, which you call it as x plus of f, has the magnitude only for all positive frequencies alone, in the sense for all f greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so whose spectrum, say we call a signal, we take a band pass signal x of t, and we call something known as x plus t as pre-envelope. Why it is called as pre-envelope will be as I told, will be explained in a short while. We take the definition of pre-envelope as the Fourier transform of this x plus of t, or the Fourier transform of this pre-envelope will have its magnitude or its phase, or it has non-zero value for all positive frequencies only. Okay, so obviously that since x plus of f exists only for f greater than or equal to 0, as you see that there is no information of x plus of f for f less than or equal to 0, obviously this implies that x plus of f is definitely not Hermitian. Okay, yeah, because for it to be Hermitian, it should possess symmetric property. Okay, since it doesn't have any information for all f less than or equal to 0, it cannot possess that Hermitian symmetry. And going back with our definition that we have defined earlier, this implies that if a spectrum is not Hermitian, then what could be x plus of t, whether it is a real or a complex signal?
Complex signal.
Complex.
So it should be, yeah, that's good. It should be a complex signal. That's the reason everything from your first class would be taken for the definition up front now. Okay, so this implies that x plus of t, in the sense pre-envelope is a complex. Okay, we can call this as a complex pre-envelope, or we'll omit the part of pre in a later part, as we'll call it as just as complex envelope. Okay, but please make a note that the envelope of a bandpass signal is a complex signal because it does not possess Hermitian symmetry. Okay, so I just take for the mathematical continuity, say x plus of t, okay, is nothing but, if Fourier transform of x plus of t is x plus of f, I can write x plus of t in its inverse Fourier domain as inverse Fourier transform of x plus of f. And we have defined x plus of f as x of f times u of f, correct? So we take x of f, and if you multiply with a unit step function, we'll get only the terms of those x of f for f greater than or equal to 0. Can anybody tell me what could be the inverse Fourier transform of this? Using a Fourier transform property, the multiplication of two spectrums
convolution.
Yeah, in perfect in frequency domain, in time domain it is convolution of two signals. So frequency inverse Fourier transform of x of f, as we know, is x of t, and convoluted with Fourier inverse
delta function.
Exactly. So from the standard table, if you are aware, this will have inverse Fourier as half delta t plus j by 2 pi t. Okay, you can refer to it, standard Fourier pairs for this definition, or you can apply your standard inverse Fourier transform to obtain this expression. So what we have obtained is that, okay, so therefore your x plus of t, okay, the pre-envelope that we have written just is a convolution of these two functions. Say performing the convolution, we know that convolution property of a delta function, this would be simply half
the same
times x of t convoluted with delta of t is x of t itself plus j by 2, its convolution of x of t with j by pi t. Sorry, j by 2 we have taken its convolution of x of t and 1 over pi t, and we call such convolution as x hat of t. I'll tell you what is that, where x hat of t is nothing but the convolution of x of t with 1 over pi t. Okay, so this x hat of t, okay, and we call this x hat of t is the Hilbert transform of x of t. This is extensively used in in image analysis of medical signals, and probably in quantum mechanics as well. So this has got very wide applications of Hilbert transform, whose essence is that, okay, whose Fourier transform, if you take the spectral characteristics of this Hilbert transformed signal, which will give you minus j signum of f times x of f, okay, where it concisely it can be written as, that is, okay, it introduces, okay, whose frequency transform introduces, okay,
complex
a phase shift. Yeah, so it's kind of a phase shifter. It acts as a phase shifter of how much? Okay, it produces
90.
or introduces a phase shift 90 degree, correct. So it produces minus 90 degree, in fact, for positive frequencies, as we know that we have introduced, sign of f, signum of f, whatever that you call. So signum of f we have defined as that signal which has got unit magnitude for all f greater than 0, and hence that gets multiplied with minus j. Minus j can be rewritten as e power minus j power 2, which is can be thought of as shift of minus 90 degree for shift of minus 90 degree on x of f for all positive frequencies, and shift of plus 90 degrees for all negative frequencies. So this Hilbert transform just does a phase shifter operation. Okay, if an incoming signal is fed into a Hilbert transformer, it just shifts the signals phase by minus 90 degree and plus 90 degree depending on the frequencies, whether it is a positive frequency or a negative frequency. Okay, so it has got its application in digital communication as well. Okay, so with this basic
meaning of, like, the physical meaning or the application of Hilbert transfer function is only to give a phase shift, that's all.
Exactly, just to give a phase shift for the incoming signal. Okay.
So could you show the bandpass spectrum equations which you wrote? Like, I just want to see it.
Okay. Bandpass signal. Yeah, this was the one. It's very similar to the low pass signal. It just has its frequency characteristics only at the higher frequency ranges.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. Okay. All right. So with this basic understanding of operation of bandpass signal now in terms of its only its pre-envelope or complex envelope, we can now try to express the bandpass signal in its low pass equivalent. Okay, so as we understand, okay, we understand, remember we have received an RF signal or higher frequency signal or bandpass signal at the receiver. Now we are trying to convert that bandpass signal into its equivalent low pass signal, and we need to understand why we are doing so, why we are expressing the bandpass signal in terms of its low pass equivalent, or why we are demodulating or down converting into lower frequency signals. We understand because the fact lies in this statement where we understand the sampling of low pass signals, because we have done with probably in your CS1 course we have understood the sampling theorem, the Nyquist theorem of low pass signals, and hence we can easily sample the received signal if it is having the spectrum around DC value or 0 hertz, right? So that's the reason we are trying to down convert it, and hence is the reason, hence we translate. Okay, x plus of f, which is still at the it's still the bandpass signal itself, into low pass. Hence translate x plus of f into low pass and then perform sampling. And hence we define, okay, therefore we define a signal called as XL of t as the low pass equivalent, or now that it is, we know that it is complex, but it doesn't possess any Hermitian symmetry because it is also called as complex envelope. Why envelope? I'll explain. Of x of t as, okay, whose Fourier transform is represented as XL of f. Okay, we from x plus of f we are down converting, or we are pulling it to the value around the frequencies value around DC hertz, and we'll be representing such low pass signal as XL of f, which is obtained from x plus of f, okay, which is obtained from x plus of f or in other words, we can represent that signal in its frequency domain as x f plus f naught into u f plus f naught, where x of f plus f naught represents its frequency domain representation at some value f is equal to f naught, or f is equal to minus f naught if it is in the the negative spectrum. Since we have multiplied with a unit step function, it sees that, it means that we are just taking x plus of f into consideration, and we are trying to down convert into the low frequency spectrum, and we'll multiply with a factor 2. I'll tell you why we are multiplying with a factor 2 just after this discussion.
Sir, I did not understand the math over there.
We can sorry?
I didn't understand the math over there. So Fourier transform of xl of t gives us capital XL of f, which is the low pass equivalent of our input signal, which is x plus of t.
Correct. I'll tell you.
How did we write on the right hand side?
Yeah, or in other words, I can say that this XL of f is nothing but it is just x plus of f plus f. Is it right? I have got x plus f, correct? I have got x plus f. I'll just go back to the bandpass signal representation there. I have x. This is my x of f.
Positive of f itself, you've represented as x f plus f naught. So f plus f naught itself says that it is a positive value if f naught is positive.
No. See, this is my, do you agree this highlighted one is x plus of f?
Yes, sir. So we're basically left shifting when we do x
exactly.
plus f plus f naught.
Exactly. We are shifting that to, we need to move this center frequency f naught to 0. We need to represent x of f we are down converting this higher frequency signal into a low pass signal, where we are moving this center frequency f naught to 0, where we are shifting this x plus of f on its left, so that its f naught matches with 0. So for that we can only in frequency domain it is represented as x plus of f plus f naught. Right? If it's a right shift, we represent it as f minus f naught, and it's a left shift, it is in f plus f naught. Correct? Okay, I hope that is clear. Yeah, I hope that is okay. Yeah. So the low pass equivalent of the band pass signal is such that I am shifting x plus of f on its left by an amount of f naught. Okay, so and in other words, x plus of f plus f naught is nothing but that x of f multiplied with unit step function. Correct? So this is x of f, which is the original spectrum, which gets multiplied with a unit unit step signal, but it is again has to be left shifted by an amount of f naught, and then that is the reason both x of f and step signal has a shift of f naught by an amount of f naught towards left.
So is the 2 I know that you told us that the 2 is a part of, like you will explain it to us later, but is 2 coming because of the unit step function?
No,
because
not
of
at
some
all.
Other reason.
No, the other reason. It will get gets cancelled out. If there was no 2, if there was,
it will be a 1 by 2.
Exactly.
Okay.
We will get to know. We will get to know. It's just for the ease of mathematics operation, nothing more than that. Okay. So we'll call this as, hope this is clear, because this understanding is important. Okay. So if I call this as equation 4, yeah, this is equation 4 followed by the last equation. All right. So this is my low pass representation in its frequency domain. I can write its time domain as xl of t by taking its inverse Fourier transform. Okay, as simply, if I take inverse Fourier transform on the right hand side, this I can represent it as by the frequency shifting property of a Fourier transform. This I can represent it as twice of x plus of t. Can anybody tell me?
E to the power j2 pi minus j2 pi f naught
minus
t.
j2 pi f naught t. Correct. Okay, so this follows the Fourier frequency shifting property of Fourier transform. All right. So note that we'll observe a couple of points here before we get into the next step. So we should note that xl of f. The first point is that xl of f, as I pictured earlier. Okay, this is located around 0 frequency. Okay, and is not symmetric. Remember that. Okay, and is not symmetric. So this implies that I'm reiterating this xl of t in its time domain is complex.
So it would
Okay,
be
and hence it
incorrect
is
to say that, right? It could be real. Like in this particular example of the signal that you've taken, we found that it was complex.
Yeah, that's very true. You know, that's a good question.
As a
That
corner
yes,
case, it would be real.
exactly. That's kind of a special case, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfectly right. Oh, okay, but in most of the cases that we have seen, the nature of the information signal, when you try to down convert it, definitely it doesn't possess so good amount of symmetricity. Okay, so to be more realistic, as I said, it could be a more special case or a corner case that it could be real. But in general, we treat it as complex low pass signal.
Okay.
Okay. So if I try to sketch that, I have already told that just with orally, but if I try to sketch its frequency spectrum after translating down the band pass signal, it would look something like this. Okay, so this would be your x of f plus equivalent, okay, which we have obtained as twice of x plus of f plus f naught frequency domain. Sketch this as it is down converted now. Okay, where this f naught is a 0. Okay, so whose I can say this as w. I have not mentioned the bandwidth as w earlier. I can say that this I can call it as w, or you can just take a positive part and say w. Okay, I'll not represent this. Depends on how you represent the bandwidth. Okay, as I told, the factor the scaling factor 2, which is the reason it will be very evident now. Okay, now that if I go back to mathematical relations of all these, if you carefully observe equation 5, I'll just pick equation 5, and with the definition of x plus of t, we have seen that x plus of t is nothing but half of x of t plus j by 2 Hilbert transform x of t. Using this expression, equation number 1, I can substitute this definition of x plus of t into equation number 5, where I have written this inverse Fourier transform of xl of f. So substituting that equation into 5, okay, just put equation 1 in equation 5, I would get x L of t as twice of, so with the definition of x plus of t, I'll just rewrite that, which is half of x plus x of t plus half of j times x hat of t. Okay, you can just check the earlier definition of what we have written for x plus of t, which is half x of t plus j by 2 x hat of t. I'm just utilizing that definition. Okay, I'm just rewriting that times e power minus j 2 pi f naught t. Yeah, this is the reason I have we have pre-multiplied this with 2, because now if I try to take out this 2 and cancel it half, this would neatly look like x of t plus j x hat of t into e power j 2 pi f naught t. Okay, we can call this as equation 6. This can still be simplified in this fashion. Therefore, xl of t, x of t, because this is product of two complex quantities, I'll just try to keep this simple, where e power minus j theta, that we know that from Euler's identity. So this is cos 2 pi f naught t, minus j sine 2 by f naught t Okay, if I try to multiply these two common, complex quantities, I can regroup them into real and complex. I'll skip that step and I'll just keep collecting the real parts. The real part
X of t cos 2 pi f naught t
f naught t, yeah,
plus x hat
then x hat of t times
sine 2 pi f.
sine, minus j, and plus j will give you plus 1. That's correct. Okay, yeah, then if I collect the complex terms, this will be plus j times the first term is x hat of t times cos 2 pi f naught t, then minus x of t times sine 2 pi f naught t. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, this is the total low pass equivalent. This also all looks little lengthy equation, but this will help us in implementing if x of t is a band pass signal, all we need to multiply that x of t with cos 2 pi f naught t and take Hilbert transform of it, or shift that signal by 90 degrees, then multiply with sine 2 pi f naught t. That will constitute the real part of xl of t. Right, so that would be the the next step that would be taking, and you can carefully observe that equations, this should be the conclusion, equations 4 and 7, if I'm not wrong, this last equation and equation 4 gave you definition of XL of f, which is the Fourier frequency domain representation of the low pass equivalent. Then we also have defined the low pass equivalent in time domain as part of your equation 6 or 7. Okay, 7 is just derived form of equation 6, and hence we can say that equations 4 and 7 represent low pass equivalent of band pass signals. Okay, and these will be helpful in implementing physically, okay, in both frequency and time domain respectively. So this is the one part of it. Okay, so we need to do the other part, which is a vice versa part, where we need to represent the band pass signal given the low pass signal. Okay, so from equation 6, okay, from equation 6, okay, I'll just keep on referring these equations. We have xl of t. We can represent this xl of t, we can represent x of t, the original signal. If you carefully look at mathematical representation of low pass equivalent signal, which is in equation 6, x of t is hidden in its real part. Correct. So the imaginary part is its Hilbert transform. So we can express this x of t as real part of xl of t. But the problem is with this e power, the guy which is getting multiplied with e power minus j 2 pi f naught t. I can multiply this xl of t with e power j 2 pi f naught t, such that I would extract x of t, or I can represent x of t in terms of its low pass equivalent. Right. So this would be my equation number 8. Okay, that is a straightforward representation of converting your low pass signal into band pass. Just multiply with e power j 2 pi f naught t, where f naught is a frequency much greater than 0, which is a carrier signal, and take real part of the product and obtain x of t. Okay, so we can extend this for getting a notion from in frequencies perspective. So this implies that the Fourier transform of this x of t is nothing but x of f, which is a Fourier transform, taking Fourier transform on both the sides of equation 8. You'd be getting this as Fourier transform of this real signal, which is xl of t times e power j 2 pi f naught t. Okay, so basic definition of Fourier transform. Okay, I'll just be quick here. So minus infinity to infinity, real part of this xl of t e power minus j 2 pi f naught t times e power minus j 2 pi ft dt. Okay, this would be your Fourier transform of this signal. Now if I carefully note again here that if I say take some arbitrary variable as q, which would represent this term, which is xl of t e power j2 pi f naught t, this implies that this real part of q, which is what we are having inside the integral. Okay, so we have real part of this q can be represented as half of q plus q conjugate. Correct. So this would give me the real part of q. And taking that basic definition of our complex complex quantities, we can represent x of f now as, we can split this into two parts as half of q plus q star. Okay, I'll split this real part of q into half of q plus q star into e power minus j2 pi ft dt. Okay, I'll resubstitute what is actual q and we'll proceed further. So therefore x of f is nothing but half can be pulled out minus infinity to infinity. Okay, x q we have represented as simply xl of t into e power j2 pi f naught t. We'll resubstitute that xl of t into e power j2 pi f naught t multiplied by this term from the Fourier transform as dt. This is my one integral, one part of the integral, plus complex conjugate of q, which is nothing but xl of t, okay, into e power minus j2 pi f naught t, complex conjugate of that, times e power j2 pi ft. Okay, whole, probably I'll have to put a bigger bracket here to represent that. A whole part of this dt. All right, so simplifying further, we note that this can be written as, okay, this can be, I think it should be, yeah, complex conjugate on both the sides. Okay, so q star would be complex conjugate of xl of t and complex conjugate of e power j theta. Okay, yeah, I missed that. So half of minus infinity to infinity. Okay, just be with me for just couple of minutes. We'll wind up this session. So this would be xl of t, just adding the complex numbers on its exponential term, which is equal, if I take minus j2 pi outside, so this would be f minus f naught t dt, and this part is half of minus infinity to infinity xl star of t into e power j2 pi f minus f naught, yeah, that's correct, dt. And we know that by basic Fourier transform theory, we can write this as half of, okay, therefore x of f would be half of, this is nothing but it's a Fourier transform of xl of t but shifted by an amount of f naught, which can be represented as xl of f minus f naught. And the second part is a Fourier transform of xl star of t by shifting an amount of minus f naught, but in the negative direction, because there is no minus sign here, which is a complex conjugate of that. So we can represent this as xl star minus f naught. Okay, so this would give me definition of x of f in its low pass equivalent in its frequency domain.